can't watch the old James Bond. I'm sorry, they all suck.
You mean the one with
Sean Connery?
Sean Connery. It's hard to watch Sean Connery because he's supposed to be a British spy, but he's a Scotsman.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the British did not think highly of the Scots.
They didn't, and we all know...
They were like, this animal thinks he can be a spy.
You know what we're going to do? We're just going to name a fucking dog after that country.
We're going to let these ladyboys be as spies. They run around in skirts like savages.
We'll just grab one of them and put him in a toupee and say he's James Bond. Little do they know.
That's why, like, we never looked into, like, actual British spying because we saw them using Scotsmen being represented in films, and we were like, oh, we can't take them seriously. They're letting Scotsmen be spies.
Yeah, I mean, there's no chance they're actually good at any of this intel.
All they do is get drunk and play golf. Like, they can't be good at spying. Little do you know, the Scots are the best at golf. That's why they're so good at spying. They get these rich executives out on the golf course. They get them talking, get them liquored up a little bit because you just bring out some scotch. You're just like, drink a little bit of whiskey with me.
Hear me out. It couldn't be that they're good at golf because they created the fucking sport.
Well, they are. That's what I'm saying. That's why they created the sport, so they get and then tricked elites to being really into golf, and that's how they get all their intel. Because as we all know, the golf course is where you get all the business done, dude.
No, Wade. And my favorite thing is, and the more you think about it, the truer it gets. The richer you are, the smaller your balls get in your recreational sports.
Oh, it's so true. Yeah, like if you're super poor, you play soccer, but a soccer ball is smaller than a basketball. So,
Is it?
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Okay, so that's the only one, but then they just start shrinking after that.
That's the poorest poor. Like, the only reason soccer is so popular around the world is because you could literally, like, what they do is, like, they get their used socks that aren't any good anymore, and after a while, they build a pile. They somehow find a piece of duct tape somewhere and tape them all together, and bam, you have a soccer ball. And then you just stick some sticks on the ground, and then you got nets, and that's how they play soccer. That's why it's so popular. You can make anything into a ball,
dude. Yes, you can. And I want to tell you about where was it? It was in California somewhere, like Calabasas or something like that. So what happened is some dude like broke one of the bones in his body because out in the field was a soccer ball. When he kicked it, it was a hard fucking rock. What happened is they took the soccer ball, they peeled out one of those little octagon squares.
Yep.
Filled it with cement, let it dry, sat it upside down on that square in the middle of a field, and just left it.
I don't know if I should laugh at that, but it's just really funny.
I'm sorry. Who's the genius that went through and went, you know what I could do?
Well, also, I guess, I don't know. Like, if I just found, like, you shouldn't just randomly run up and kick something you just found. You know what I mean?
Well, for them to break something, it makes me think they wound up like, free ball, and just ran up to punt the thing.
I guess I've also had experiences and learned, like, never trust your eyes and what you see. Always investigate. Because, like, I've had my buddy's dad told us a story when he was growing up. What they did as a joke, they took, like, just a cardboard box, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they left it kind of open at the top, right? And put it in the middle of the street. Filled it with cinder blocks and waited there. And just eventually, like, somebody was like, oh, look, a box. And, like, this is the 80s, so nobody gave a shit. So they're like, I'm just going to run into that box. And they ran into it and just fucking ran into a box filled with cinder blocks.
Jesus.
You're right. So, like, I heard that story when I was, like, 12. And I was like, so never hit anything that you think, or just don't go at things and you're like, it's always a trap if it's just randomly sitting there. Yeah. So if I saw a soccer ball in the middle of a field, I'd go, probably filled with bees. Like, that's my first thought is, like, that's a ball filled with bees. And then you go to pick it up and you're like, oh, cement.
It's definitely inflated and used dirty heroin needles.
Yeah. Now you have AIDS. AIDS soccer.
This is a 90s ass fucking soccer ball.
Joke's on you. All soccer has AIDS in it. Have you ever seen a soccer player? They all look like they're dying.
Oh, that just came back from a time machine from the early 90s, dude.
Dude, an AIDS-filled soccer ball.
It's the pandemic ball. No!
Welcome to Pandemic Ball 2020.
Dude, does that not sound like a fucking gnarly kick-ass game? Because pandemic
Sounds like
ball?
something they play in fucking Mad Max. It's Pandemic Ball.
Dude.
Enter the dome of deadly disease.
Who is